Welcome, Linda and Tony, to my show. I'm so excited that you're both on here. I've been to some of the presentations that you did and some of the karaoke nights, and I just love them. So first I wanted to ask you, by the way, Linda, how did you get into this field?
Oh, first of all, Tony and I met 10 years ago.
Nice.
And, we met at a karaoke venue, and from then on, a year later, we got married, and we had a reception at a karaoke place.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That night, because we got married at a town hall on a Friday night. We were looking for something to do, how to celebrate. It was wonderful. We ate, we had our cake, and we sang. It was the best. A year after that, we started our own karaoke business, TLG Entertainment Karaoke of Long Island.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know that you're so sought after because sometimes I call you up and you're always so busy and you're booked some of the time, so people need to call ahead of time just to make sure. And by the way, Tony, I know you do karaoke, but you also DJ. And I was wondering, for people that are new to this, could you explain what karaoke is a little bit?
Well, karaoke is music without the vocals.
Oh, nice.
And they're left out so that somebody can sing them in themselves. And karaoke, it's a CDG that puts the lyrics on the screen, and you read the lyrics and sing them as the song progresses. So that's how it's followed.
Oh, that's fantastic, because I know that you mentioned that it's really improved over the years.
Years ago, they were a little limited to what they were able to have out there for the public. The copyright law was pretty tough back then.
See, and who thinks of that? When you're thinking karaoke, you don't think about the copyright.
Right.
So what was going on with the copyright laws then?
Certain artists didn't want their music to be recorded and out there unless they got a
percentage.
A little percentage. And after a while, it opened up and made it really better than what it was then.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, I find that, like I said before, that I've gone to karaoke night, and I find that what the two of you do, which is why you're on the show, because you're phenomenal and they're such positive people. It really makes such a difference, that I find that what you do, though, with the karaoke is different than other people. So, could you tell us a little about how it's different?
Well, we're very out there. We want to be personable.
Exactly.
I have found when I went to karaoke, they put you up there, gave the mic, and said sing, and then walked away.
Oh, yeah, you never see them again. They're always behind.
Right, and I found that unpersonal. I didn't like that, so we went to a lot of different places. And I says, well, you know what? If I ever do this, that's what I want to do, is to make sure that they're happy and they're comfortable. Otherwise, they're not going to get up and sing.
Well, that makes a big difference. Plus, I found that, when I've gone, I find that you really make things a lot of fun. And really, I should have put something on there that said keyword fun, because you talk to people. And one of the things that I find, too, that happens to be different, if you don't mind me mentioning it, is that you both sing. So it's not like somebody behind a machine where you're going, okay, do these people actually listen to what I'm saying, or if there's a glitch, and you really listen to the people singing? So if they're a little bit edgy, you're more than happy to restart for them.
Absolutely.
It's not that you don't notice. You ask them if they want to change the key, which I'm not sure what that means, but you do.
That's for if you can't sing at that tone of the original singer. They can either bring it down some or up higher.
Oh, so that makes a really big difference. Now, about the people that don't know some of the songs.
Well, we have a catalog, and it's A to Z, either done by artist and or by song. If you don't know the artist, you just know the name of the song, you can look in that book. And then the opposite. If you just know the artist, then they'll give a list of that particular artist's whatever songs we have.
Oh, so you can actually go in and kind of flip through a book and say, okay, I know this artist, or I know this song, and depending on which book they look in, they can actually find 5 or 6 or 8 million or 2 songs that they relate to, that they think they might be able to sing. So that's really very positive.
And if they don't find it in the book, they can always come up and we can put it in the computer And most likely we have the song.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's really non-limited. You know, plus you were saying earlier about them bringing a disc, I think?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, if anybody has their own CDG, they can bring it in and we'll play it for them. So in other
that's
words,
great.
Right.
if we don't have that particular song, which now with the computer you can just download them within a couple of minutes and have it for the following week. But sometimes people like a specific manufacturer that made that CDG.
Oh, I see.
Some are better than the others, so it works out good, you know, that they bring in their own, because sometimes you can each song could have 10, 15 manufacturers.
Oh, so this is great because it gives you unlimited flexibility.
Right.
You know, plus, I remember that you were saying earlier that some people actually practice at home and some people just come in and sing. So they would be bringing in the disc that they're practicing on?
They could do that, yes. We play, you know, anybody that comes in, we can throw their disc in our machine.
Oh, so it gives them a lot of flexibility. So they
Right.
can either show up and then you have, I've seen people, I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but I've seen people come in that have never done karaoke. You get them all fun and you get them all hyped. You get them to sing and they're kind of going like this. You know, but you get them up, and sometimes, Linda, I've seen that, you know, you've sung with, I forgot the lady's name, but you got up there and you sang with her until she relaxed, and then she could do it on her own. You know, so
Yeah, she does
it's
that a
not,
lot,
yeah,
yes.
and Linda's very good like that. So, you know, they're more relaxed, they're not feeling like they're getting up by themselves, which I honestly have never seen anybody else do. You know, they kind of like you go up there and, you know,
Yeah.
fend for yourself, if, you know, and some people, they're afraid to get up there. So the fact that they have that option with either one of you, because I've seen you both, you know, and you both sing very well, by the
Thank
way,
you.
Thank you.
that it makes such a big difference that, you know, they have that option.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, karaoke is very therapeutic. A lot of people, it's a big release, and it's, you know, it's fun for a lot of people. Sometimes they're just very inhibited. They don't want to. You know, if they can get up with I would encourage them to get up with a bunch of people.
See, now nobody would have thought of that. That's wonderful.
And then, you know,
great
they'll get
idea.
used to it. You know, they might want to sing eventually by themselves. But it's, you know, it's not a contest. It's not who sings better than, it's a lot of fun, and it's very therapeutic. And I really believe that there are people out there that don't want to, they get very inhibited, and it also makes you very, you know, very, how would you say?
Confident.
Confident
yeah.
and everything.
And I
Yeah.
find too that I've seen you sing with people where, you know, they got up there and they were very depressed, or very, I shouldn't say depressed, more like emotionally down. And what would happen was they would be a little bit more like that. And by the time that you finished singing with them, they were all up, they were happy,
Different person.
different mood. And one of the things that I found that was really funny to me was, I don't remember what night I was there when the two of you were working, and there was somebody that was kind of, again, in a kind of a down mood and very tired, and, you know, and you got the person up to go sing, and by the time he was done, he was looking for the next song that was an up song,
Right.
that had a lot of energy, and you're very good with people, and I think that makes a tremendous
That's what
difference.
gives us the plus that we have.
I think it gives you an edge.
We got to make people get up there and sing. I don't want to sing the whole night, for one.
Yeah.
Which
Although you're
there
great.
there are numerous amount of times that's happened. But, I'd like to see other people sing.
Now, I noticed that sometimes you have more than one person singing at the same time, like male and female. Now, how does that work? How would they know what to do?
On the screen, that again, depending upon the manufacturer, usually the female is either red, pink, and then the male is either blue or green.
Oh, that's good. So you
And
can
then
actually
it'll
color code.
actually come up on the screen. Male sings this, and then you'll see the color. Then usually the colors are different of the wording.
See, now who would have thought that?
So
You know,
it's
because-
pretty simple.
yeah.
It's pretty simple.
That
and
makes it
works
so much
great.
easier.
Works great.
Because I've seen people get up and sing like a duet, or, you know, sometimes a couple guys will get up and sing together, and I never know how they figured out who sings when.
Who sings what part?
And that makes it
most
really
most of the duet songs do have that on the screen
Mm-hmm.
set up that way. There are some other manufacturers that don't. So, but
So at least you have some kind of an
Right,
option.
right.
And you know, you explaining it, which I so appreciate, it makes it so much more fun and easier for people that don't know what it is
Right.
to go, okay, let me think about it. Maybe this would work for me. Maybe I could try it. And the worst that'll happen is I sing with some people and I decide that I'd rather listen.
Right.
But it's still fun, I find, even if you're just listening, you can get up, you can dance, you can listen. It's fun even then because
Oh,
you're listening to
absolutely.
different types.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen amazing things, like Linda's daughter, her youngest, never sang.
Really?
And Linda actually sang in a choir before we met.
No wonder you have that voice.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And her daughter came for the first time, and Linda had to coax her. But after that, you couldn't get the mic away from her. And she's starting to sing.
Oh.
Now, every time she
And
comes,
she
she
loves
sings
that.
like 4 or 5 different,
Oh, that's
different
fantastic.
artists. So,
And it's great because, you know, I didn't even think of it, but you can take your kids. So it can be
Yeah,
a family
right.
situation.
Well,
It's
you
not
know,
just,
well-
you know.
Absolutely.
we've
Like
done
we do parties for children, we do parties for adults. There's birthdays, graduations.
I remember you do events,
Events.
We've done a couple of
you know.
benefits.
And I know you've done fundraising.
Yep.
Yes, we do
And
fundraising also.
basically, I know that I knew you did parties and all, but I think most people don't realize that if they have an organization, or sometimes I find, like I deal with a lot of businessmen, and sometimes they have meetings where they want to have a little fun after the
Right,
meeting.
right.
You know, or they have the weekend seminars where they just want somebody to come in once in a while to do something, you know, where they get
Karaoke's
rid of
fun.
the energy. Yeah, you know, it's such a big difference. And
Instead of
basically,
just
you cover
listening
everything.
to music. I mean, music is great, but
Because I remember,
Yeah.
Tony, you were saying how it's interactive and that everybody can join in if they choose to.
Right.
You know, so one of the things I find too is that you're very laid back. So you get everybody hyped just because you're so much fun, but you don't make anybody feel
Thank
awkward
you.
if they don't. And, you know, that makes
Right.
people more relaxed when they do get to it.
Yes.
You know? And you were saying that with events that, you know, if they call you ahead of time, that you were saying you go over it, or how do you set that up? That you go over it with them ahead of time, what type of music they'd like?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, they'll give us a call, and then we ask them those questions. What kind of music? Like, for instance, if it's a teen party or if it's a family party, and, you know, we'll have, like, all types of music from the 40s to the 2000s. So we have something for everybody. You know, if you want to have a theme party, we've done
great.
50s. Someone wanted a karaoke. The gentleman turned 60s, and he wanted a 50 party.
Oh,
and
nice.
Everybody dressed up, and so we
Oh.
do theme also, and
Oh, that's
we'll
wonderful.
accommodate that.
Because I find, you know, when you get into doing parties for other people, you know, I remember both of you saying to me a while ago how some people get really into, say, I think you mentioned Sinatra, some people get into reggae. You know,
Right.
so you really cover different areas, and you don't just show up and say, I do karaoke, this is what I do.
Right.
And then there's half of the music they like, half they don't.
Right,
You know, and that's a really big difference because I've seen that happen.
we try to update the music as much as we can, but it's pretty difficult because how many people are out there? You're not going to have everything that everybody
Exactly.
wants. So
Yeah.
you try to do the best, you know, getting a certain amount of this, that, of every type of music, and most of the time we have satisfied customers. So.
Oh, listen, I know all the time you do. I remember, Tony, you were saying something to me in the beginning when you started, something about looking for Sinatra? When you were looking?
Well, I was going to places to sing. That's how I got into it. Instead of playing pool or darts or whatever, I wanted to do something different. And a couple of friends of us, we picked karaoke. So we went, and my favorite musician is Sinatra. I love singing Sinatra. But I go by the CDs.
Yeah.
Now those CDs are not exactly the same as karaoke music. There are only a few, like I said, manufacturers that make it close. So for me to go to places and sing, some had bad cuts. The different type of lyrics were totally different. The music was
that?
too slow, or the music was too fast. So it was difficult for a while for me. But I ended up going and buying my own CDs.
Oh,
So that's how I ended up getting the majority of my music, was because it was something I needed to have because nobody else had it. So
Oh,
I wanted
see.
to go to the store and buy it myself.
Oh, but that's great to
Then
start your
bringing it,
collection.
then bringing it to the person, and he would play it for me. So that's how, you know, I started making a little collection of mine. So
Yeah,
when
well,
the person,
yeah.
when the person that we took over the job from, I only had like maybe 30 discs.
Oh, that's
I don't
a
know
lot.
how I started the business with 30 discs, but
Because
we
you're
did.
fun, you
Well,
make it really exciting.
right, the owner of the place wanted us to carry it on because
that's
it was.
wonderful.
He thought that I had that I could keep those customers there if the other guy left.
Oh, and I'm sure it built because
Oh,
I've
it did.
seen the two of you in action.
It-
And really, the biggest thing that you make it exciting and you make it so interesting that people that have never gone, I've noticed, some people like sit in the back of the place because they're not really interested in it in the beginning, and they're just talking about other things. And as the night wears on, they move. It's funny. They move
move
closer
closer.
and closer and closer.
yeah.
And then because
Yes.
the two of you are more interactive,
Yeah, we
you know, you
try.
get them to come up and sing, or at least you give them the opportunity. They don't feel left out. And you were saying about the feeling of family?
I want to get out there, shake the hands, and say, actually walk over to certain. I'll see certain people not look like they're not interested. I go right over there and put the book right on their table. Say, I know I can see some singers here. And I hand them the book, and I'd say 9 times out of 10, I get one out of that group will get up there and sing. So.
Oh, that's really good, Bill. And I think what you were saying, Linda, about it being therapeutic, I think that's really great because I've seen people where they're so stressed, and then one of the girls was singing with you, and by the time she got off, she was relaxed, she was mellow. We should have taken a picture because you could actually see the before and after. It was that drastic.
Yeah, we've met a lot of people that have had problems and came and sang, and the next thing you know, they don't have problems. Or well, they do, but they're not making it.
Right. And it gets a place to where you can, you know, you're going there once a week, once a night,
Right.
whatever,
Right.
and you can vent and get your energy out and kind of recharge. You know, now, what is your contact information? It is listed as contact information at the end, but just in case.
Yeah, it's TLG Entertainment Karaoke of Long Island, and my phone number is 516-616-0508.
Okay, could you repeat that one more time with the phone number?
All right, it's 516-616-0508.
Okay, I just want to give people a chance to write it down.
Cool.
Thank
Great.
you, Maria.
You know, because it's so great. And one of the things I've noticed too is that I feel that when you're doing karaoke and people come, you were mentioning earlier how it keeps relationships more positive. You know, about them working together. How were you expressing that when they sing together?
Oh, I think, you know, like everybody, I mean, there's times where people are so stressed and they, you know, they're home and they're arguing or what have you, anything. Hey, come on, let's go out and everything. And I just think it's nice. They come out and they'll sing, and it's just a beautiful thing, you know, it kind of like makes people feel a little more happy. You know, will get your mind off your problems for a little bit. And
So it's great for relationship building. You know, really.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, and just look at the two of you. It's great. I mean, really. You're the perfect couple. Seriously, I just
Oh,
love you
Maria.
guys. I also noticed, I remember Tony was saying a while ago that you had a couple where before they got up to sing, they were kind of edgy with each other. They weren't arguing, but they were like, you could see that there was a little bit of tension.
Right.
And I don't remember what they were singing, you said, but they're saying how were they after the karaoke?
Well, they wanted to sing some more.
Which is great.
Yeah, no, they were closer together.
Yeah, and I've really noticed that with even friends. You know, that somebody will push somebody out of the group in there, everybody's making fun of them, and then when they're done, another person goes up.
Right.
You know, and I find that you basically work all over Long Island, right?
We've worked Nassau County, maybe one place out in Suffolk. So
Yeah, so we've been.
Because I know you're
we're
open
very
to everywhere.
versatile.
We can
Yes.
just about drive anywhere.
You know,
So.
especially with the karaoke. I love that people can call up and they can say, you know, I request this type, you know, like you were saying. And I find especially it's great, I feel personally, for fundraisers and for events, because when they're trying to raise money for an organization or a group, I find when people come a lot of times, because, you know, I work at those situations,
Right.
and I find when they don't have music, It doesn't matter what else they have. They can have vendors, they can have people like me.
Right.
But what happens is the fun part isn't the same level, whereas if they had you come, and that's a hint, that if they had you come, you know, that you would just, you know, pick all that up.
I would
You
do
know?
it, and we've, like I said, we've
I know
done
you've
it.
worked at
And
them.
I would do it again.
Okay.
Giving back, giving back.
Yeah, exactly. And that
That
I
I'm
think
mind
is
doing.
very spiritual as an outlook, because we always try to put back. And you were saying how many years have been in this about?
We've been doing it 9 years, I think.
That's a long time. You know,
I'm
and
back.
you're building business really quickly because
Right.
of how you are.
Right. The first gig was a Wednesday night. Now in karaoke, that's like the worst night to have karaoke. But we took
Well,
it
I've
on.
seen it packed.
We took it on, and
Some people just
You know what I'm saying?
you know,
I've seen
need
it
to get out
absolutely
and our
packed.
minds a little bit during the week even.
Yeah.
You know.
we took it on, and then it took
Yeah, I've
off from
seen
there.
it build. You know, and again, like I said, it's on the rise because I see more and more people getting out there. So thank you very much for coming,
Thank
and
you.
I was really happy to talk to you.
It was a
And,
pleasure, Maria.
thank you. And thank you for joining us today. And don't forget to tune in next week for The Spiritual World with Maria. If you would like more information on anything you heard on the show today, a copy of my show, or for meditation, classes, readings, or about my other disciplines, go to www.mariadeandrea.com. You will see that and other contact information at the end of the show. May God bless you abundantly.